Good morning. Welcome to Coffee Chats. For those still sticking around because I don't know how to update my stream, thank you for joining us at 9:30 this morning as we had some logistics to sort out. Today, we're going to be talking about AI as a theme and lettuce jokes. Like, that's all we're going to do for the next half hour.
AI is a theme, John. It's a
AI
theme.
is a theme. For those who don't know the inside joke here, yesterday was the Battle Royale pitch drawing with Matt Solomon and Sean Lardo. And today's session, we're going to be getting into the Accelerator and what it actually does. But we're going to talk about that Battle Royale and get into some of the picks, some of the conversations, and some of the themes coming out of this year's PitchIt program. So most people may know me on the show. We've only got a 20-minute show or 30-minute show this morning. And you've been on the show before, but do a brief introduction on your side, both Sam and Sean, and we'll jump right in.
Good, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Sam. I work for ConnectWise, as you can see. Evidently, I work with Sean for better or for worse, and we have the honor of running the PitchIt program for ConnectWise, which is for those who don't know, it's a 16-week incubator program. It's a Shark Tank-like style competition. Go through some educational sessions with some thought leaders and industry experts in the space, culminating in a final pitch for some prize money and to get in front of the MSPs.
Oh, well, I'm Sean Lardo, and I find it to be an honor to work with Sam. Unlike he's okay with working with me, but it's an honor to work in PitchIt. So I don't know. With ConnectWise, it's like so I work for ConnectWise, and I run the PitchIt program. Actually, now Sam kind of does. Let's be honest. I'm sort of just sitting back and enjoying my coffee.
It's a pretty face. Amazing coffee cup, by the way. I love that you brought the theme to the show.
It's Betty White. So also VP for IT Nations here. So I work with the community and enjoy coffee. But I think Sam covered PitchIt pretty well. Maybe he was a little nostalgic about it because he was kind of dreary about it a little bit, not as charismatic as he should be. But it's not just industry experts; it's literally the people. It's the who's who of the industry that give education every single week and donate their time to these vendors. And as you know, right now we have about 19 vendors that are in. So they're running their business full time as they also attend these sessions, as they do live streams and podcasts. So, I mean, the reality is they would need these. This is all part of their natural development, I suppose, right? Because you're constantly learning, and the broadcasting of their name everywhere is important because they would need to do that anyway, one way or another, with marketing efforts. Yep. So they are getting a nice, quick, hopefully bump in their brand from this, but they are doing all this simultaneously, so they do dedicate a lot of time.
Yeah, it's an amazing program. You know, yesterday we had Jerway Todd sit down and talk to us. That guy is not only an IT Nation facilitator or an IT Nation Evolve facilitator, but a brilliant SaaS owner. And so we've had access to, Rob, Ray. We've had access to Matt Topper. We've had access to an amazing lineup. We're getting close, though. We are getting to the tail of the program where the competition heats up. The octagon has been set, and we are ready to talk about it. So let's pull Brett's comment in here. I'm with you. Why is Sean Lardo not in the lobby? Oh, can we get one of those like member of the year cutouts from GTIA and put Sean Lardo in the lobby everywhere?
I'm okay. I don't know that they want my mug
everywhere.
No, I don't know they want that. I think they used to have. So when you're in the office, they have monitors, all around the office with all like the updates of what's going on in ConnectWise, so all the employees know what's going on, right? And there was a time when I was one of the headline pieces on the video, and it was a picture they took when I was on stage for PitchIt, at the PitchIt finals. That was short-lived. I feel like they're like, "Ooh, this guy's not a good-looking guy. He's not a good representation. They'll think like Cro-Magnon man runs this company. Let's get him off of there."
Oh, come on, Sean. No, we're good. I think you deserve more screen time. This program is bringing a lot of value to a lot of founders. And so let's talk about some of the value we created yesterday. Let's talk about the Battle Royale. I'll toss this one over to you, Sam. Give us a rundown on what the Battle Royale is, and then we're going to punt it over to Sean to talk about the picks yesterday, what some of the most contentious lineups he thinks he's going to see there in the competition. and just get your read from, well, you don't have to pick favorites, but get your read from the drawing yesterday. So Sam, kick us off. What was the Battle Royale? What happened yesterday?
Yeah, so we were fortunate enough to work with Channel Program for the last few years to put on this Battle Royale. So obviously we do an internal pitch with a board of ConnectWise members, but we also want to get these companies in the cohort out to as many MSPs as possible. So what we do with the Battle Royale is we were Channel Program to live stream these pitches directly to MSPs within the Channel Program network and on LinkedIn, so anybody can join in and check it out. So what it is, it's they get 5 minutes exactly. Otherwise they get yanked off the stage mid-sentence. So we try to harp on that as much as possible to keep it light and keep it tight. So yeah, they've got 5 minutes to give their spiel. They'll get some feedback from directly from the MSPs right after, and it's just a good way to get some live action, get an opportunity to get their practice pitching, and just to kind of get some eyes on these new startups.
Everybody does want that. We all want the eyeballs. Eyeballs turns into outcomes. Sean, give me a rundown. Yesterday, we picked all 3 days. Is the list made it public yet? I know I was there, but I don't know if there's a public list yet.
It'll be out. It'll be out in the next day or so here. We have to make it look pretty, of course, right? Of course. And make it, formatting is important. But here's the reality of it. And come back to what Sam just said, even and what you said about eyeballs on them. This is a chance for every MSP to watch a vendor talk for only 5 minutes and then shut up. And they're not stuck into a long conversation with them because they can't see they're solely watching an infomercial for 5 minutes. So you should take time if you're shopping for these technologies, and we'll put the list out of what the technology genres are. So you'll know exactly what we're talking about there. And you should be like, shit, I need X. And you should be watching that then and when they're on. But it is, we're literally doing one a week. We used to do them like back-to-back days almost, right? It was a long, week and a half for me and these people because they had back-to-back pitches going on. So it was themes, which is and every company owner has an AI theme to it, just so we're clear, because they want AI in their title. But now it's once a week you can come tune in for this, and we're doing six one day. Day one has 6 vendors on August 13th at 3 p.m. Eastern, and then we have August 20th, 3 p.m. Eastern, and we have August 27th at 3 p.m. Eastern, and we'll have 6, 6, and 7. So
that'd be amazing, and that'll be a lot of the newest incumbents in the space. There's so many good companies in this mix, and there are lots of different genres. And I'm with you. I kind of like the idea of the 5-minute pitch, but the 5-minute pitch isn't a vendor pitch, and that's where I think the delta between the winners and the people that don't make it to the stage break down, because a lot of people pitch themselves up on that stage. What is the 5-minute pitch, Sean? Give me a rundown on what that looks like and why it's so hard to fit it into 5 minutes.
So you just said it spot on, really. There's a difference. The best technology doesn't win necessarily. It's the best at who can convey the message of what the value of the technology is to the person listening. That's who wins. And I've always broken it down, and I've told all of you in your sessions, and I beat it I beat the drum to this all the time. And it's, when you're on stage, you got 5, or any presentation. This is not just on stage. That's the best part about this. This is applicable to your day-to-day business, sales, marketing efforts. You don't have much time, so you should talk about what problem you're solving for, why you're solving it, and how you're solving it, and what even gives you credibility to speak to this, right? You can fit all that in 5 minutes. I can fit that in 3 minutes. Hell, I analyze all of your companies, and I'm able to throw it out there at the end of 2 months, and that's 20 companies a year, basically. So if I can figure that out, it has to be brought into layman's terms to appeal to the masses. So, you want to talk about who you are in regards to, I built this tool because I was an MSP and I struggled with X, and I knew I had to fix it. So this is what I did to fix it, and this is what it did for me as a business. You tell that story, everybody listens. They can relate,
Well, let's dig into that. You just gave a great tip. If you're a PitchIt company listening live, you just heard a great tip. Tell the story of why. I know that's in the rubric, but I want to get into that a little bit. And I'll pick on Sam. You've been in the program for a little bit. What do you think is the difference? Give a couple tips or tricks for the PitchIt companies. What makes them stand out above the crowd? Like, why did the winners win in the last couple of years?
Yeah, absolutely. And Sean touched on it a little bit, and you kind of have to put it in layman's terms. You want to go not necessarily too high level, but they don't want to hear about how many products you have, how many features you have. Like you need to tell them how you're going to save them time, how you're going to save them money, and how you're going to make them money. That's really what they care about at the end of the day. That's the bottom line. And you can get into the weeds once you catch them on that hook of being interested. And with all these companies that are in the cohort right now, so many of them, and John, you included, have MSPs backgrounds, and giving yourself that credibility right off the bat kind of makes them want to listen to you, right? If you're just talking about, I just kind of stumbled into this space, you're not really setting yourself up for success. So to give your background and then also to tell them how you're going to save and make them money that's really the two big things to harp on.
But I want to add something real quick because I don't want this to discourage people that weren't MSPs prior, right? It's not that, right? But Sam said it like you can't say you stumbled in, but everybody has an origin story, and if that origin story should be applicable to, hey, my friend is. I mean, it's the way I came into the industry. I stumbled in the industry because my friend was an MSP before they were called MSPs. I had no idea what he was doing. I helped consult for him for a little while and grow his business, and I learned what it was. I had no idea. This was 20 years ago. I had no freaking idea, right? So I stumbled in, but then I came into it and I learned all about it. So typically, and you see this actually today with the vendors that are in the competition that weren't MSPs. They're like, hey, we were doing this, and somebody referred me said, have you ever went into this industry? Because I'm an internal IT person and your technology is great and I'm using it for my company, but my friends that are MSPs could use this now. Because the mistake people make is they think that if it's an enterprise solution, it's not applicable to the MSPs. When the reality is the MSPs are supporting enterprise businesses too.
Yeah.
So
and I think the origin story is a big piece. I mean, we are in an industry of trust. I think people forget that a lot. Like you could be a vendor, but ultimately your MSPs are selling trust to their customers. And so they expect that trust to be
as you pass through
to them. Let me dig into this. I know we have, what's going on, Matt? Good to see you here, buddy. Matt, ask a question. I want to know what Matt thinks the top criteria for a PitchIt winning company should be.
You must have facial hair and no hair on your head. That is the criteria, Matt.
I mean, this is a striking resemblance. Look at this.
I mean, his beard is.
I pull it. How can I get it bigger? I don't think I can in StreamYard. That's okay.
I can't have that patience like Matt. I can't do it, man. I try.
I know. So, look, I want to jump in and I want to talk to the PitchIt companies that are here, right? And I want to talk to the MSPs that are going to tune into the battle royale because they're going to hear what they're going to get in 5 minutes. The rubric breaking down is what is the problem they're solving? How compelling is the value prop? What's their go-to-market strategy? What's their use of funding? Their contribution to the industry, the likelihood of success, time, talent, and treasure. Now that is a fairly robust rubric, but give me the Omega factor. What's not on that rubric that comes into play that maybe doesn't have a score attributed to it that kind of helps them maybe push them over the edge in the pitch?
Presence. It's all about presence at that point. Your charisma, you can tell when somebody's just going through the motions in general, right?
Yeah.
You can, and if you're not excited about telling about your product and company, because this is like your baby, if there's no charisma or excitement to it, then why am I going to be? I mean, it's a red flag right away, right?
Automated pen test. Like it has to be automated. It has to be automated pen test.
I agree, Wes. That sounds about accurate, right? But no, I think it's, and actually, I'm glad these guys are all commenting because these guys are the example of what I just said about presence and charisma about things. Everything that I've watched them ever do, they are completely 100% into or 150% into talking about it.
Yeah.
There's a general interest in it, and it doesn't just stop at like, hey, it's not like I like turtles, right? It's I like turtles, and let me tell you about the species I like the most and why I like them and how they actually navigate through water and blah, blah, blah. Like they go into it and they give you an education, right? There's a reason why you'll watch like a National Geographic thing that you never thought you'd watch. You're like, why am I still watching this? Something captures it and the way they tell the story.
Yeah, I think the storytelling presence is big.
It's huge.
I've got Matt's coming up here. I actually clicked it but it came in quick. I like this though. Look, I think really we're looking at a real new world of vendors as we're coming into this space. The velocity is absurd. The ability to build something is very quick. And in a world where the expectations for immediate success are high, the cost, the costs are basically thrown out the window these days when it comes to building these things. But the cost is going up to the vendor. There's a lot of like juxtapositioning things happening all at once here around the vendor ecosystem. I like his question of how do you balance the force? And, I've been thinking, one thing that I think is hyper relevant as I'm building a startup is how are you defining the new business model too? Like the SaaS playbook does not matter anymore. The AI playbook is being built.
There's elements. Okay, well,
elements.
There are elements to balance the force. It's shifted, right? If you go back 40 years, everything was labor intensive and all your highest costs were brick and mortar and labor intensive prices, right? We knew that. As once software became bigger, the investment shifted. So before, investment was in brick and mortar, people, whatever, right? And that's when you think about manufacturing and whatnot, right? Then you look and you see the shift that took place when software became big and SaaS, and even then it was still a little bit larger because on-prem devices were built or manufactured still. It doesn't matter. You have shipping costs, you have warehousing costs. That was a big cost. Then it went into SaaS, and SaaS turned into software where then it became less about paying for that, but it became more about paying for hosting.
Yep.
Warehousing that was different now. Warehousing went from being a physical building to data, right? And that just changed the whole thing in investment then. And then you turn this into, and this is when also the cost changed too. You went from buying an on-prem device for $50,000, $100,000, depending on whatever you bought, right? Into a subscription model. Now your cost changes from that, and it's going to roll over to now the bigger investment is going to be in how you grow your business in general now.
Yeah.
It's now going to be a different expectation. I feel like that they expect to see you again because you're not stuck in a back room developing all day long anymore.
Hence why AI is not a theme.
It's a theme.
It's an operating system.
I'm actually having it for my 51st birthday party. It's going to be a theme. I can't wait.
That's what I wanted to highlight yesterday. It is not a theme. It is the new operating system. It is not just a theme.
Well,
sorry. So let's get Sam in here. I'm going to keep just calling back to AI as a theme. We're not going to give Sam any chance to talk here. So,
yes, you are, Tim.
I know. We're going to get Sean some steak knives. I mean, there's a lot of callbacks here, a lot of inside jokes this morning. I like it. Sam, we talked about what made the clear winners. What are the mistakes you've seen over the last handful of years where great companies that you thought might have been able to be up there just fumbled the ball? And what did they do?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword with what Sean said, is that the stage presence. And as much as we love having, the engineers and those who are in love with their baby, and the problem is they get slugged down, dragging on about all those features and all the minute things that they think makes it great that the MSPs and those listening don't necessarily want to hear. You want to captivate your audience, and part of that is the stage presence and being able to speak clearly and eloquently about your product or your company. So I'd say that's probably the big thing, is that these people and those presenting aren't necessarily taking some of the advice, or even looking at some callbacks. Like you said, we had Rob Ray on for a session, and as great as it was to have him come on for an hour, we recommend going and watching some of his talks live and seeing how he commands the stage and how he's able to speak on his products there. So I would say that's the big thing. And it's also, you can't be too in love with everything, because that then will take you over those 5 minutes. And like I said before, there's nothing worse than being dragged off stage in the middle of your thought, because that not only does that reflect poorly on you as a presenter, but then people are sitting there going, well, okay, all right, whatever, I guess he didn't finish. And that it kind of puts you out of mind, unfortunately.
There's never been somebody who's won that didn't finish the pitch in time, right?
Never.
I don't know. I'm curious.
There's been people that have not finished, and then we had to shut them down. We've got people mid-talk.
Oh, I know, but have they ever won?
No, never.
Oh, no. You can no. There's an okay. Just the fact is, there's an expectation. There's an expectation from a client to talk. The MSP talks to you has an expectation. So do we. We adhere to those rules because when it comes down to business, if you don't maintain credibility, these are the parameters. If you don't stay within them that we agreed upon, and we agreed upon, I wasn't like it was some, look, this is the way it goes and you don't understand it. Hey, you understand? I understand. Great. Once any business deal, move on, shut them down. Nothing worse than when we do the private pitches and I have to say, okay, time. And they're still talking. You can see it in their face. They're like, the reality is just get to the fucking point.
I know. I love that. And Matt, this is a great point here. Be in love with what the audience will be in love with in those 5 minutes.
I agree.
Yeah.
Be shallow. Be shallow.
Be shallow. No, be deep and empathetic in the things that matter.
Of course, but that requires a level of shallowness regardless, because you can't get into everything there is, right? You can't. There's a difference. Like if you're on a sales call, you have the benefit of a discovery and you can find out what the pain points are. So when you do your presentation, you dig into those ones. You don't have that. So you got to be somewhat shallow, but you have to be deep. You're right. I'm just kidding. But you have to really be in love with it. But if you're in love with it, like most owners and entrepreneurs are, I mean, let's use you, John, as an example. You don't shut up about your stuff. You keep telling me, and you can see like the hearts in your eyes, like it's a freaking Looney Tunes cartoon, right? You literally can tell. And then you put so much that you defend the honor of AI theme.
I mean, I'm trying to see if I can get the emoji pulled up here, but I do have another question. There we go. Let's get that going. Boom. There I am. All right. So I'm curious. I want to dig into, I asked Sam, what are the mistakes? I asked you, Sean, what are the things that are outside the rubric? Let's dig into the rubric. We have what problem are they solving? How compelling, GTM strategy, use of funding, contribution to the industry, likelihood of success, and time, talent, and treasure. I do know that they are all on the track and they're all fairly equally weighted. I want you to choose the thing that you think is the most important on that rubric if you were a judge, even though they're all equally weighted.
I mean, I can start with that. I have to be able to understand how it applies to improve my business and life.
Yeah.
Okay. Period. Not just the product, but you as the person that's providing the solution as well. And if I can't understand what you just said to me, because it sounds like it's like some sort of foreign language, then you've lost me.
Got it. Love it. Sam?
Yeah. On the other side of that, I would say, the go-to-market strategy, I think, is extremely important. And we harp on it as much as we can within our sessions. And we probably have at least 3, marketing sessions alone, by people in the industry. And, you can have the best product in the world. And if you don't know how to market and you don't know how to go to market with that product, nobody's going to ever know. And it just falls into the abyss.
That's a lesson I learned a long time ago. But wait, he follows. I got it. Like we're good.
It's spot on. You don't want to admit to your shallowness because you want to be deep. It's like I want to be part of the Dead Poet Society every single day. I want to be thoughtful and insightful, but sometimes you're not. It's okay.
I want to dig into one of the rubric pieces, the use of funding. What steps out a good use of funding versus a poor use of funding? Like when you're standing and listening and in the back rooms and deliberating, what jumps out? Is it just a quick pitch, or what makes it different and actually matter to the judge?
When you acknowledge the real gap, when you don't just say what you think we want to hear. Like we've identified that we've invested heavily this side, and this has made us struggle. We know we have to get here, so we need to invest here, whatever that here is. That's the difference. And I'm going to go out on a limb and easily say that 99% of them have overly invested in technology development in their product and not in growth. Almost 99.9%. And that's the biggest, but that's an easy answer, but you have to show me that. Like, here's what we did for the last 5 years, guys. We built this great product, but we realized we haven't got here. Back to Sam's go-to-market strategy. It's the biggest problem. They have not spent money on getting their name out. So they have a great technology nobody knows about.
Yeah. And you have to understand the ecosystem too, when it comes to talking about these events, right? You don't want to just keep going to events that maybe don't work for you, right? You have to recognize your ICP and know that, okay, let's just say Connect Global is the one for me. And or you want some more mature, MSPs, and you have to find out what works best. And we're kind of in an industry where you do have to spend money to make money. And you have to understand that you got to shell out a little bit because it's going to come in the long run. And we spoke about it yesterday with Jerway, and it's he said it. You have to look at it as a 12-month ROI. You can't be like, oh, well, we didn't make anything back, 2 or 3 months after the fact. So I would say that's probably the big thing.
I want to ask a question from the audience. How much money, how much should companies allocate for steak knives, Sean? Do you want to tell the story of steak knives real quick so that people know what we're getting into here?
Yes. In the first year of doing this, even from the very first year, I reached out to friends to help with this, that are big community investment people that people know and trust. And Marvin B being one of them, right? He has this podcast been forever. Great dude, good friend. I said to him, hey, would you mind doing podcasts? And he actually, it was his idea, because then he said, what are the prizes? And I was like, well, this is for first and second. And he's like, so third row doesn't get anything? I'm like, well, they get the credit for the sponsors. And he goes the next year for sponsoring again. And he's like, oh, okay. He goes, well, that doesn't seem like much. He goes, and then we were literally on one of his live streams. Like, you know what? I'm going to bring steak knives. Third place gets steak knives. And it became like a funny joke at time. I was like, haha, okay, sure. And I ran with it, of course, because I was like thinking of the guy, the movie where, he's talking about you get steak knives or you get a Cadillac, right? Whatever. And I guess, we get to the main event and there's Marvin B with some dollar store steak knives to give the third place.
I could use some steak. Well, I don't know dollar store steak knives, but I could use some steak knives.
We've since upgraded a bit. We've gotten better with them, but
can we get like really nice steak knives? Because I would take a good set of really nice steak knives.
So you're already accepting your third place, that you're going to be a finalist and you're making third? Is that what you're telling me, John?
One of the two.
So you're making it.
One of those two statements are accurate. Oh, man. All right.
I like that subtle confidence that you're really starting to expose right now.
Let's dig in to the other point. I know, actually, we're running out of time. I don't even know how we're out of time. We had so much good audience engagement. It's just like we have 6 parts of this series. We'll dig into it more, I suppose, next time. Rapid fire questions then, as we wrap up the show here. What is more? I'm going to start with you, Sam, and then I'm going to go to Sean, and then we're going to inverse it for each question. So, Sam, you start us. Of the two things, what's more important? The problem they're solving, or how compelling is their value prop? I guess they're the same, but they're different in the rubric.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say it's how compelling is your value prop. You want to drag them in. You want to get them hooked to have them ask questions and meet up with you after.
Love it. Sean?
I'll take the opposite. If I don't know what the hell you're even solving for, why do I care what compellingness there is?
I'm going to flip it around now. Sean, you're going to start us. We're going to pair 2 more things back on the rubric together. Go-to-market strategy or contribution to the industry?
Go-to-market strategy, because that'll take you to the contribution ultimately.
Sam?
I have to agree, but for argument's sake, I'll go the opposite. Contribution to the industry. You want people to know how you're going to better the industry, which then helps create your go-to-market strategy.
And then we're going to pick 2 more of the rubric pieces, and we're going to sign off with the final one. Likelihood of success or time, talent, and treasure? Sam, start us off.
Time, talent, and treasure. If you have the background, you have the know-how, that'll create the success for you.
Sean?
I won't even argue that. The likelihood of success is only a byproduct of the first. So you have to have it. As you know, when you talk to investors or if you talk to a prospect, they want to know what you have, what you're made of. That leads to the likelihood of success. Otherwise, it's just an empty cardboard box.
All right. Final question. It's a fill in the blank at the end of the sentence, starting with you, Sean. The winner of PitchIt this year will blank.
Oof. Will be the best storyteller to deliver the right message that people understand, relate to, and can see how they'll impact their business.
Love it. Sam?
They will grow, mature, expand, and learn.
Dang, that's so good. Sam, you just closed this off real well there.
I'm so proud of you. I'm like having a proud moment.
That's like the tagline of PitchIt. Like, can we
Right? We're changing everything. It's no longer called PitchIt.
I didn't expect that in the rapid fire wrap up. Amazing. Well done to sign us off, Sam. Sorry to get us so abruptly closed, but a fun roundup session. For everybody in the PitchIt program, I want you to listen to this. You just got all the tips and all the tricks and how to go run this. I'll share it so everybody can have it. And for all of the vendors considering PitchIt or watching this next year and reviewing this program as recommendations, I'd encourage you to listen to these guys. They know exactly how it works. The rubric's been mostly the same for years, but the outcome is always the same for those who follow the rubric. So thanks for joining me this Thursday morning. Thanks for everybody that tuned in. Matt, Wes, Tim, and Brett. It was great to see you. We'll see everybody next Thursday. Cheers.
Toodles.
Take care.